does a theologian of the church survive in the ever-growing secular world of academia? Hi, this is Pastor Dennis DiMauro of Trinity Lutheran Church in Warrenton, Virginia, and today I am reviewing Bob Benne's book, Thanks Be to God, Memoirs of a Practical Theologian, published by ALPB Books in 2019. And I really enjoyed reading this book because it solidified my decision to pursue parish life rather than the academia life, even though I hold a PhD from Catholic University in church history. And after reviewing Dr. Benne's life, I am happy to say thanks, but no thanks to a life in the academy, because as bad as it was for Dr. Benne in the 1970s and 80s, imagine what it would be like today in this age of wokeness. Good grief. Now, Benne starts out this short book by describing his small-town upbringing in an ethnically German area of Nebraska. This section covers the days long ago when young Lutheran kids met their friends at the Luther or the Walter League. They played softball together. They lived the relatively clean and prosperous times of the post-war 50s, and they avoided the Catholics, of course. Oh, my goodness. Kind of like Ozzie and Harriet wearing Luther Rose t-shirts, if you will. And, of course, young Bob's future looks bright. He's an A student. He's a star athlete in 4 sports. He's a quarterback, no less, and is soon recruited to play at Midland University in nearby Fremont, Nebraska, where he meets the love of his life, Joanna. Okay, so far so good. But the times they are a-changin', my friends. So cue the age of Aquarius, because Bob soon finds himself on the campus of the University of Chicago. Oh boy. Where he studies to earn his MA and PhD in the Divinity School, interspersed with a few sabbaticals to Germany. These emotional and educational experiences are filled with endless theological adventures as Bob and his friends watch lively debates between Karl Barth and Jaroslav Pelikan and trace down other theological heroes throughout Europe. There's also a very funny encounter with Rudolf Bultmann. You don't want to miss that. You have to read the book to learn about him. I'm not going to give it away, but it's golden. Now, Bob soon gets a job at Chicago, where he meets up with the likes of Karl Broughton and other theological lights of the age, and he becomes enthralled in the efforts to organize urban communities. And for a time, he admits, he was what you might call a 60s seminary radical, taught in the milieu of critical hermeneutics, reading Reinhold Niebuhr, smoking cigars with Neuhaus, and drinking in the prevailing liberation theology. But his life's about to change, because at a trip to D.C. to protest the Vietnam War, he finds to his surprise that the crowd protesting there was hoping that Ho Chi Minh would win. What? And on the lawn of the National Mall, he witnesses a lot of dope smoking and even caught a glimpse of a couple having sex out in the open. And at that moment, Bob from Nebraska realizes that this is not for him. And so Benne, deeply disillusioned, changes course, returning to Chicago to defend the merits of capitalism and the American political system. His new direction results in a seminal work, Defining America, a Christian critique of the American dream by Fortress Press, 1974, and then later, The Ethic of Democratic Capitalism, a Moral Assessment, in 1981, both of which place him in the national debate on faith in society. Well, as you can imagine, the folks at Chicago don't take too kindly to his traditional ways, and soon Benne was looking for greener pastures. And he found those pastures at Roanoke College in the beautiful rolling hills of Southern Virginia. Here, Benne, under the tutelage of the college's president, Norm Fintel, sought to reclaim the Lutheran identity of the college and provide a voice for the Christian faith within that institution. Now, you would think that's a piece of cake, right? Considering it's a Lutheran college. But if you thought that, my friends, think again. And you really have to read his effort to win a Lilly Grant. This is also a great moment in the book, designed to retain Roanoke College's Christian identity and the resistance that he gets from other faculty members. But I won't give all that away. You've got to read it, and it'll show you where we're at, even in Christian colleges. Now, sadly, that resistance at the college never really ends, and Benne's later history of the college, published by Erdman's in 2017, which he hoped would elicit a conversation on the relationship between faith and the academy, was largely snubbed by Roanoke's department heads. They simply wanted nothing to do with it. But despite the odds, Benne did make quite a bit of headway there at the college. He created the Center for Religion and Society, later named after him. And he grew the existing Crumley lectures on faith that were there at the college. And he had some amazing banquets with prominent speakers like Wolfhart Pannenberg, Helmut Schmidt, Martin Marty, John Richard Newhouse, N.T. Wright, all of whom, one way or the other, discussed how our religious and public lives could be integrated. And after retirement, Benne worked with Lutheran Corps and its predecessor organizations in a failed attempt to uphold traditional marriage within the Evangelical Lutheran Church of America. He soon switched his membership to the newly formed North American Lutheran Church, where he started the Broughton-Benne Lectures with Carl Broughton, and also the Younger Theologians Colloquium, to raise up young theologians within the church. Now, full disclosure, I am a member of that colloquium. And on a personal level, Dr. Benne has also spoken at our local NALC Life Ministries conference. He is a dedicated pro-life advocate, and we had the biggest attendance ever when he spoke at that conference. So I hope you'll take some time to read Thanks Be to God. It is a wonderful memoir which details Benne's journey from left-wing activist to now iconic Christian ethicist. Indeed, it demonstrates how one person can fight the good fight for God's law and gospel, making a difference in the world and succeeding in academia against all odds. Thank you very much.